Hello. Welcome to 5x5. I have now tried to make this video 4 times, and every time I've done it, something has gone wrong and I've had to re-record the thing. The first time I got completely lost in my train of thought and just ran out of time. The second time I hadn't recorded properly. I'd pressed record in the wrong place, and anyway, it's complicated. This time that I just did it now, I watched it back again and watched that I turned the autofocus on. I must have been focusing on something that was right in front of the lens because it was all out of focus. So we try again. You'll notice, by the way, that I'm not using the webcam again. I'm using the phone again. I was using the webcam last week. It's because I've been so incredibly busy that I just haven't had the time to look at the various programs that I would need to record this and get decent quality out of it, because I know that this camera is capable of decent quality, but it obviously wasn't giving it when I was recording last week. So we'll see. Today's video is actually supposed to be about YouTube comments. Whether it will end up being about that or whether I'll get sidetracked again, I don't honestly know. I've noticed that YouTube comments seem to come in waves. The nature of randomness really seem to come in waves. You'll get 2 or 3 days of nothing but nice, pleasant, decent comments, and then you'll get 2 or 3 days of nothing but bad comments, and then you'll get, maybe a week of a mixed bag. It's one of those things. But I've been having 2 or 3 days of particularly unpleasant comments, and for the most part, I can kind of ignore that. When it's flat out abuse, that's easy to ignore. I just bin those people and they're trolls. When it's differences of opinion, politely put, that's absolutely fine. That's no problem at all. I welcome that sort of thing. Everyone's difference of opinion. I've had hundreds and hundreds of people who've commented on videos that I've made who have differences of opinion from myself, obviously, but they've done it in polite, friendly ways, and I, sort of look at their opinion and think, yeah, that's fair enough, and I don't mind, even if I don't agree with you, that's perfectly right. Bring them in, bring your opinions. But one today, and I get these every now and again. There seems to be this. For starters, for the last couple of months, I've noticed that there are an awful lot of people, just endless complaints about games. Constant complaints. And the thing is, I've played these games, and for the most part, it seems that people are looking really hard for something to complain about in these games, right? And something to pull apart, because I just don't see it a lot of the time. It's not, and if I can't see it and I have to look that hard for it, it can't be that important. There are exceptions. Fallout 76 is worth complaining about. Fair enough. That is the buggiest game I've ever seen, and I love the Fallout series, but this Fallout 76 has been a disaster so far since release, But having said that, once it's fixed, I've paid the same price that I've paid for it anyway. I've paid for the game, and I'm quite happy to go back in and play it, and I'm looking forward to it, Doesn't matter to me whether that's next week or next year. But, if a game takes too long to release, people complain about it. If it's released on time, people think it's great until they go in and find, it's full of bugs. You should have taken longer to prepare this game. Anyway, opinions vary on these various different games. And a week ago, I think it was about a week ago, I released my first impressions of Just Cause 4 after only having played it for 2 or 3 hours. And they were just my opinions, because that's what my videos are. But I've had a guy today in the comments talking about how, I'm obviously some sort of shill. I'm out for codes from Square Enix. I'm just asking them to give me stuff. So, I'm thinking about making a video actually going on there and saying, look, guys, that is never what I'm after. I have never once, ever asked a developer for codes or stuff. I've had things sent to me by Warhorse Studios, but that was, their decision. I didn't know anything about them. When I made the review, I just reviewed their game and said what I thought about it, and I happen to like it. A lot of people didn't, but, opinions vary. That's up to you. And a lot of people have been down on Just Cause for graphical issues, which I can see what they're talking about, but it's not a big deal. It doesn't affect my enjoyment of the game. So I was giving them my opinion of my enjoyment of the game after 2 or 3 hours. I did say very clearly, I've only played it for 2 or 3 hours, these are first impressions, but there's an opinion out there on the internet, on YouTube, and particularly it seems when it comes to gaming videos, that if a lot of people dislike something, and you say differently, you are wrong, or you must be some sort of shill for the big corporate giants. No, I just like the game. That's all it is. Okay, see you next week.